If you like to know what you need to know before coming to study in Ukraine, then keep watching. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome, and if you've been here before, thank you for sticking around. If you like to know what you need to know before coming to study in Ukraine, then keep watching. The first thing you need to know is language. Now, there are two official languages in Ukraine. One is Ukrainian and one is Russian. In some parts of Ukraine, they speak Ukrainian more, and in some parts of Ukraine, like where I am, they speak Russian more. So you need to know that there are two distinct languages. They don't sound the same. They have a few similar words, but they are different. So you just need to know that you won't be able to communicate in English because just a few people know English. They just now started teaching English, and a lot of people have started learning English and picking up English basically just like last year. So keep that in mind. The second thing you need to know about is finances or currency. Now, if you come from a country where you spend dollars, Ukraine will be a bit cheap for you. But if you come from, like, I want to say Africa, if you come from places like Africa and they don't spend dollars, or if you come from places where dollars are not spent, or your currency is lower than like US dollars, basically, to be a bit expensive. The third thing you need to know is the time you've come to study. Now, usually in Ukraine, school resumes in September, but if you get your admission late or whatever, but you come here late, there is something called preparatory department. In this, you will just study Russian. That's all you do, basically. Then the next academic year is when you will now start from first year. So just have that in mind. I recommend starting earlier, like in January or something, for September when you want to come. Because if you come late, but you may be lucky to come in November and still get in first year, but mostly if you come late, mostly like beginning of October or after September, you will most likely join the preparatory department. I may not be correct, it may not be the same in every school, but for my school, this is how it is. The fourth thing you need to know is there is still racism. A lot of it. There is. People may not tell you that, but there is still racism. Maybe not in all parts of Ukraine, obviously not everyone, because some people are more enlightened than others. But definitely have it at the back of your mind that there is still racism. They don't like blacks. Not that they kill blacks or something, but they just insult you, call you monkey and pig and all that, but they still do it here. You will encounter it if you have to use the public transport or you have to order a private taxi and all that. You encounter some of them, but it's not as much. But there is still racism. The fifth thing you need to know is the weather. When you're coming to Europe, everybody thinks Europe is very cold. You're right. Ukraine is very, very, very cold. The coldest we've had it, like in my third year, that was 2015. It was down to -40. That was the coldest. But Ukraine gets very, very, very hot too. As hot as plus 42, 43 in summer. So have that back of your mind is extremes. Extreme cold and extreme heat. So just have that at the back of your mind, okay? Another thing you need to know is there is good transportation system here. So we have, okay, for my city, we have subway, metro is what we call it. We have bus, we have trolley bus, and we have taxis and some other means of transport. It's not the same in every city. I live in Kharkiv, I study in Kharkiv, so we have all that, but not every city has, especially the subway. But I think every other city has trolley bus and bus, I think. I'm not sure, but I'm sure not every city has metro, which is the subway. but there is very good transportation system here. Point number 7, there are a lot of nationalities here. So whatever part of the world you're from, you can be very sure you'll find at least one person who is from your country. So you can find a way to bond. But then there are a lot of nationalities here, especially Africans, Indians, and Arabs. So there are a lot in Ukraine, just know that. Point number 8, one thing you need to know, this is heavy to say, but not all schools are recognized outside Ukraine. I'll explain. So when you're in a school, you're going to school, you have your certificate, not every part of the world recognizes Ukrainian certificate, especially some schools. So some schools don't really have recognition outside. So if you have a certificate, like the school certificate, you cannot really do much with it because it's not recognized. So just have that at the back of your mind. And when you're choosing schools, try to choose schools which have some form of recognition outside Ukraine. Just have that at the back of your mind. The 9th thing you need to know is that there's a huge time difference depending on what part of the world you come from. Some parts are slower and some parts are ahead. So just remember to put that in your world clock, and so you can monitor the time difference and know when to talk to your family back home or something like that. And the last but not least point is, at some point you will be homesick. You can't fight it. At some point you will most definitely be homesick. Maybe once in all your whole life in Ukraine, just once, maybe, but you definitely be homesick, because I would say it's more because of the language barrier. So you can't really do much, and there's some places you can't go because you're a foreigner. There's just so much, and you will be homesick. You will miss your country, or you miss wherever you live, or wherever your family is, or wherever you have friends. You definitely miss that. We've come to the end of this video, and I hope I've helped you somehow, and I hope you've taken 1 or 2 things from this video so you know what you're coming to expect when you come here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends and your family and whoever you can share it with. I'll see you next time. Love you.